Welcome to Flow. Let's get started. For today's session, you'll need something like a wall or a sturdy piece of furniture that you can use to balance. Start lying down on your back. Bring your feet a bit wider, allow your knees to knock together. Bring one hand to your belly, one hand to your heart. Allow your eyes to close or find a soft gaze. And take these first few moments to bring focus and awareness to your breathing. With every inhale, allow your belly and your heart space to expand. And every exhale, allow yourself to sink a little bit heavier. Start to pull your knees to your chest. Grab for fingers or wrists or forearms. Take a gentle rock from side to side. And then with your right hand, grab your right knee. With your left hand, grab your left knee. Start to draw your knees away from each other and draw a big circle. Take about 5 or 6 of these going in one direction. Just starting to lubricate a little bit into your deep hip joints. And then start to move this in the opposite direction. And you can use your hands to manipulate your legs. Just a very gentle, non-weight bearing opening into the hip. Find a few more here. And then pull your knees back into your chest. Extend your legs up towards the ceiling. Cross your right knee over your left knee. And then pull your knees into your chest. So maybe you're able to grab for knees or thighs, or maybe you're able to grab for shins or ankles. You want to think of pulling your ankles away from each other as much as you can. Your hips may lift up off the ground just a little bit. Try to plug your hips down as much as you can. And breathe into the space, the opening of your hips along the sides. Take a big breath in, and a full breath out. And we'll be here for a few more moments if you want to find a gentle rock from side to side. And now shift your butt bones over to the right and let your knees fall over to the left, coming into a twist. Now you can keep the crossing of your legs. It's going to be a bit more of an intense twist, or you can uncross your legs. Slowly start to come out of your twist. Extend your left leg long to the ground, or you could bend your left knee. Pull your right knee into your chest and start to make some circles with your right leg. So going out to the side, down, and around. And you'll likely notice that your hips are moving around a lot with these circles. You can bring your arms out to the side to stabilize yourself, or you can use your arms to help the motion. It takes a little bit of core work here. You can, of course, have your left knee bent for balance. And then start moving this circle in the opposite direction. Your right knee does not need to be completely straight. You can have a soft or a big bend through your right knee. This is more about finding this circular motion through your right hip as you stabilize the left hip. And then we'll take the opposite side, so extend both legs and then cross your left knee over your right knee. Grab for shins or ankles. Think of pulling your ankles away from each other. And then notice your butt bones may slightly be lifting up off the mat. Try to keep your shoulders and your skull nice and heavy. Take a huge breath into your belly. Feel this expansion. And then exhale, allow yourself to sink a little bit heavier into your mat. Try to release tension through your shoulders, through your jaw. Option to take a little movement from side to side. And then shift your butt bones so they go over to the left and allow your knees to fall over to the right. So you can keep the crossing of your legs, or you can uncross your legs. Expand your arms, bring your gaze over towards your left palm. Think of finding big breaths into your belly. Try to heavy your left shoulder as much as you can. If it's popping up off the ground, it's okay. But imagine that someone's applying a little bit of pressure to your left shoulder just to increase the twist into your upper spine. And then slowly bring yourself out of this and start to find these circles through your left hip. So you could bend your right knee, place your right foot flat to the ground to give you a little more stability. You can extend your arms. This is going to feel a little bit rocky, and that's okay. Think of swiping across your body. Doesn't have to be pretty. And then start moving this circle in the opposite direction, probably feeling a good amount of movement through your hips, and that's okay. Allow it to happen. Just think of increasing this range of motion into your left hip. We'll find a few more here. And then bring both of your knees back into your chest and move into happy baby. So catch the insides or outsides of your feet. Pull your knees to your armpits. You can find some gentle movement here. You could extend one leg or the other. Think of sending big breaths into your belly. Notice tension you may hold on to in your shoulders as you come into this posture. And then slowly release. Pull your knees into your chest and make your way up to a tabletop all fours position. Bring your knees slightly wider. Start to push your hips from side to side, just a little wag of the tail. We're going to start to find big circles through your hips. So push your hips way to the right, and then start to send your hips towards your right heel, towards your left heel, and then back to the left. And take that again, a huge hip circle. And you can tuck your toes under. That may make this a little more stabilizing. You can go at your own pace here, find your own rhythm. You may be finding just a little bit of movement through your spine. And then move to the opposite direction. Push your hips to the left. Go over towards your right heel, over to the right, making these big swooping circles. Take a few more here, just to find some lubrication into the hips. Now working up a little bit into the lower back. Come back to neutral tabletop, arch your spine, lift your gaze, and then exhale, round your spine, pull your chin to your chest. Take that again, arch your spine, lift your gaze, and exhale, round chin to chest. And find a few more, just moving between these two. Finding a little more lubrication into the hips, a little more into the spine. Bring yourself back to neutral. Pull your right knee into your chest, out to the side, back and around, and start to find some hip circles through your right side. Really have to use your core here to stabilize, especially through your spine. We'll take like 5 circles in one direction and then start to move this in the opposite direction. And this doesn't have to be anything that looks super pretty. It's just another way to get a little bit of movement into your right hip. And then we'll move to the left hip. Start with circles in one direction. Just this churning motion through the hip, through the knee, while you stay as stable and supported as possible through your core. And then start to move in the opposite direction. We're finding very small movement in the spine. Most of this movement is coming from your hip. And then bring your left knee back down to the mat. Flip your toes under. We're moving to a forward fold ragdoll. Soften your knees, drop your head. Slowly roll yourself up to stand. And this is where you'll come to either a wall or a steady piece of furniture. Once you get to your wall, stabilize with your left hand on the wall and find some leg swings with your right leg. And this doesn't have to look like anything, just allowing a little bit of looseness, almost like a pendulum swinging. So allow your hip to kind of drop and be heavy on the right side. And then face in towards your wall. We're going to still focus on the right side, but now moving the leg out to the side and then across your body. And this should feel almost like a pendulum sensation, almost like you have a weight through your right ankle. You're getting nice and heavy. And then switch this to the opposite side. So right hand can come to the wall and left leg can just swing forwards and backwards. Your upper body may move around a little bit with this as well. That's fine. And then face in towards your wall again, and then left leg goes out to the side and across your body. Just finding a different way to release into your left hip and finding a little more focus onto the inner thigh and groin of the left side. And this doesn't have to look like anything. You just want this sensation of finding release through your hip. And then go ahead and start to come back to your mat. Bring your feet a little wider than your shoulders and start to circle your hips around to the left. And I know this feels a little silly, but this is a really great way to break up any tension that you may be feeling in your hips. And start to circle your hips the opposite direction. Have a soft little bend with your knees. Make huge circles with your hips. And then bring yourself back to the front of your mat. Come all the way down onto your back. Bring the bottoms of your feet together. Allow your knees to open. Bring one hand to your belly, one hand to your heart. Allow your eyes to close or find a soft gaze. And we'll take these final moments to bring focus and awareness to your breathing. With every inhale, allow your belly and your chest to expand. And every exhale, allow yourself to sink a little bit heavier into the mat. Take one final huge breath in. And full exhale. Thank you for joining us today. And that's your flow.